Hi guys and welcome back to Let's Play Football Manager 2017 as Real Madrid. No transfer dealings while we've been away. It is now time for a friendly which I have set up with Anderlecht because Arsenal rejected our friendly proposal. Apparently their schedule is too busy to fit us in. So we're going with the same team that we took to Munich to play Bayern in the first friendly. We're going to keep with a couple of these players. Pardon me, we're going to keep with all of these players, but we are going to rotate in the next friendly just to make sure we've got some people fit for the Super Cup. But this game will be interesting. We are at home for this friendly and I expect the youngsters here to be able to do something against Anderlecht. They're not as strong a team as Bayern Munich, although they do have a couple of players in there who are going to be able to cause us a bit of bother. But I do expect to be able to beat them today, and I'm looking for a good showing from the team, particularly the lads who aren't automatic starters. So we're out on the pitch warming up here. I love the visuals of this. It looks so crisp and clear. So Hodzic playing it to Stanciu here, and I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciations on half of their team, such as Nsakala there. And Svilar has it now, takes a long kick, really poor kick actually from him. Carvajal picking it up and coming forward. Carvajal, Kovacic, plays it to Asensio, to Isco, got an option wide but goes to Morata who finds Berardi. Plays it back to Isco, plays in Morata, and it's a goal for Real Madrid. That was lovely movement from the lads there. Berardi getting involved. Isco with the assist for Morata. And Morata looks in good shape for the season off of that evidence. I really hope we can get the same kind of season as last season out of Morata, particularly given the fact that it looks like we're not going to be able to get Paulo Dybala. I've been trying to get him, but I've bid up to 80 million and Juventus won't even discuss it. They just flat out reject 80 million for him. So it's unlikely that I'm going to be able to secure Dybala's services. We're maybe going to have to go for someone who's more of a pure backup to Morata rather than someone who can challenge him for the slot. Perhaps maybe even looking into someone like Gabriel Barbosa or Gabriel Jesus, who are younger even than Morata is. But anyway, back to the game here. Trezeguet's ball blocked. Asensio can't quite get the ball though. Back to Joao Dogo. Svilar now forward to Van Aken. Cademuro. Svilar kicks it. Not the best kick. Headed on by Stanciu, but picked up by Carvajal. Into Kovacic. And Asensio. And Isco. A lot of players closed round us here, but we are finding space out wide. Marcelo, Basta's man, into Morata, who finishes it. And how many times last season did we see him poke those balls home? Great goal for 2-0. Only 18 minutes gone here. Very, very good showing against a weaker team. Nsakala to Mangala. Forward to Paulinho. Paulinho to Hani. And Hodzic. And Vallejo just steps out and takes it from him. Great play by the young man at the back. Berardi racing forward here. Beats a couple of them. And that's ugly. The less said about that shot, the better. Some good intent from Berardi, but he's going to have to start showing more quality. I've been a little disappointed in him in the opening couple of friendlies. So Svilar out to Cademuro and Mangala, and they're playing pretty good football, Anderlecht, when they do get a hold of the ball. Paulinho to Stanciu, or Stanciu, I'm not exactly sure of the pronunciation of his name. And Sakala losing it to Carvajal. Berardi's got a lot of space to run at now, cutting inside, and he's lost it to Trezeguet. Rugani cuts out the long pass to Carvajal. Forward to Berardi now. Good touch. Back to Carvajal. Hopefully they can form a partnership. In for Morata. Header away. Comes back to Isco. And it's a lovely placed shot across the goalkeeper. 3-0. Not even 20 minutes gone. And we're starting to look good now. Of course, much weaker team here in Anderlecht. But we're doing well. Carvajal now. Pretty much an action-packed first half here. Kovacic coming forward, playing it to Asensio. Forward for Carvajal. Carvajal angles it in for Morata. Nice touch. Forced a bit too wide though. Back to Carvajal for another angle. He drills it in, and it's Ronaldo at the back stick, poking it beyond Svilar for 4-0. Very good friendly here for the morale. And this is, of course, a much rotated team for us. So for them to be doing so well against you know, Anderlecht aren't mugs. Anderlecht are a decent side, so I'm pleased. Nsakala, Stanshu, good ball forward to Mangala. Striker's offside here. Oh, and Rugani intercepts the ball. Good play. Marcelo out to Ronaldo. I'm happy with the young centre backs we have back there. I'm happy with, you know, having Varane and Vallejo and Rugani all in there. Morata's shot goes wide. I'm liking the centre back positions. I don't feel we need any additions. We also have Llorente, who's on loan again at Malaga. He might be able to come back in and do something at centre back. Rugani heads it on. Vallejo, and it's a good save by the goalkeeper there. But we have a lot of big, strong centre-backs who can also play with the ball at their feet. So I'm very happy with that position, probably more so than any other. I think left-back, of course, we still need someone in there. We have Danilo and Carvajal on the right. So that's not a problem. Goalkeepers, I'm relatively happy. If we, you know, if the opportunity opened up to take someone like David De Gea and it wasn't a crazy fee, then I would maybe look into replacing Keylor Navas, but he's certainly not a bad goalkeeper. Let's just make these changes here, bring on most of the main squad into the side here. Gareth Bale coming on now for Berardi. Of course, James Rodriguez injured himself in the first game against Bayern Munich, so he can't feature here. Isco, Ronaldo, Morata and Marcelo will all play the full 90 minutes. I'd really like to get the left back in before we play the next game, because I would like him to have a couple of games with the squad before we get into league action. Of course, we also have the Super Cup coming up as well as the friendly. And there's Bale off the bench to bag another goal, just like he did in Germany. Playing very well, Gareth Bale. Gallardo with it in, and it's poked home by Fomba. Oh no, and it's a foul. Pushed someone. Okay. Happy with that. Bit of a let off for us there, but... Oh, Kroos has lost it to Capel. Gallardo now coming forward with it. Tinnerholm. Inside to Tielemans, who's certainly someone we want to keep our eye on for the future. We do have a pretty strong group of central midfielders, but you can never ignore a wonder kid if he should become available for a knockdown price. Especially also with Modric getting on a bit in years, he may need to be replaced soon. We do have Kovacic, of course, but we have lost Casemiro in there, so certainly possibly a slot open up for someone to play rotationally. In this game, pretty much as you would expect, we're in complete control of the game. Kiko Casilla bringing it way out of his box, playing it to Varane. Good ball forward for Bale, but Achiampong manages to nick it there. Nice flick to Capel and Fomba and Lea Iseka. Danilo cutting it out, but it is headed down to Tielemans and Gallardo. Good work from them actually coming forward. Fomba now, they're playing pretty well. Poked forward. Tielemans again. Dinks it in for Capel, nods it down, and Fomba hammers it, and wow, what a goal that is. So Fomba has actually scored a goal. Obviously had one disallowed moments ago, but that is some hit. Absolute thunderbolt there. And Danilo's ball in, caught by Carasso. He plays it long. Oof, misjudged header there by Marcelo. Lea Iseka coming forward. Shot wide there. And that pretty much should be the game. 5-1. Good victory for us. Good bit of fitness for the boys. Danilo for Kroos and Modric. Out wide to Marcelo, coming forward with it. Tries a cross, it is blocked. And there's a bit of a mix up, but they do get it clear. So good game today. Definitely need someone in there to deputise for Marcelo. That's next on the agenda list. as well as a striker. Possibly another wide man, but I'm not certain about that. I am aware without Ronaldo in there we are pretty weak. And that will be the full-time whistle. A good friendly game today. Some nice play by the boys. Pleased with how the rotational lads did in the first half. So just a little look at my scouting process here when I'm looking for these other players. I am looking pretty much just at all strikers just now. Gabriel Jesus, someone I don't have a report on yet. We will scout him. Just real quick here before the end of this episode. We will also scout, we actually have scouted Marcus Rashford. When's the report from? Okay, the report's from back in February, so we'll have a little scout again on Marcus Rashford, who could obviously become a star striker for us, if we brought him on right. I don't think there's anyone else I really want to look at. So let's just have a little look at the reports that we get for those players after the game saves, which shouldn't take too long. I just want to take a little look at the reports we get back on Gabriel Jesus here, so we can have a little idea of sort of options we have for a striker, and hopefully I can get one of them in soon. We'll have a little look at left backs as well here before we leave it off. Okay, so our Gabriel Jesus report. His potential isn't actually that high, and the fee 44 to 80 million absolutely rules him out completely. Marcus Rashford 69 to 125 million, again completely ruling him out. So we're not going to be able to pick up any of these players. It is actually relatively tricky because we have 118 million and 800,000 in the wage budget, so I'm not above spending a lot of money, but it would have to be pretty much the finished project, and he would have to have years and years left in his career for me to spend that sort of money. So let's have a little look at the left back. We're looking maybe Juan Bernat. What's the report on him saying? 28.5 to 37.5 for Juan Bernat, and that is a recent report from only a couple of weeks ago. So that's a possibility. That's a real possibility actually. Alberto Moreno, well, Marcos Alonso as well. That would be pretty nice actually, because Marcos Alonso's grandfather actually played in the Real Madrid squad, I believe in the 50s. He was part of a very, very strong Real Madrid squad who won numerous European Cups. So that would be fitting to have Marcos Alonso come into the squad here. He's also Spanish, which is nice. I'll also scout Alberto Moreno there, who's very good in the game, possibly better than he is in real life, some Liverpool fans would tell you. But I think the main thing is this striker, because we are struggling a little bit to identify a proper target. What about Divock Origi here actually? If we're going to look for someone who is not the finished project, and we're looking at possibly someone to be a pure deputy rather than someone who can come in and challenge Morata for the spot. Okay, so Barcelona the favourites at 2 to 1 to win the league. We are 9 to 4 to retain our title. Fair odds, I would say, given that Barcelona defeated us in the Champions League final, something I'm still bitterly disappointed about. So there's a match report on Dybala. He had an 8.7 in a 2-1 Juventus victory over Roma. Played 90 minutes and scored one of the goals. Still a great player, but I think that ship has sailed a little bit, unfortunately. It's this bit of news here saying we're prepared to table a bid of 102 million. I'm going to bid 100 million and see what happens. I would pay 100 probably. I don't think I'm going to go any higher than 100, but let's see what they say. Nah, they're not even going to talk about 100. Right, fine. That deal's definitely dead. Alonso, they don't want to sell. Moreno, they don't want to sell. Origi would be 26.5 to 35.5. Possibly something to look at for us. Okay, let's try and test the water with Alonso though. I've got it in my head now because of his grandfather that I'd like to buy Alonso. So if we bid 20, they come back with 136 million. Okay, so it's fairly certain that we won't be buying him. And we'll have a little look at Origi as well. We'll bid 20 and see what they say to that. 45.5. Okay, I'm going to try and remove that, and I'm going to try and move that so that they can't ask for anything of future sell-ons. And they went up 25 million, so they probably want about 32. Am I willing to pay them 32? Let's have a little look. He's got a good first touch, he's a good dribbler, decent finisher, good composure, bit of flair, very determined. 15 pace, 16 acceleration, good technique. Passing, not the best. If we can compare him actually with Morata. If we can find him, there he is. So let's actually compare those attributes. Let's look at passing. So Morata takes passing considerably. Vision is the same. Technique, Origi is actually slightly better than Morata. Dribbling, Origi as well, and crossing, but Morata takes some things by a reasonable margin, so that passing one is the biggest one for me. Morata wins bravery and aggression as well. Morata has a higher work rate. Morata is actually quicker in terms of his overall pace. Better in the air. I don't know. I'm going to leave it for now. I'm going to have a little look at these players further before we come back for our next fixture against Shakhtar. So I hope you enjoyed the friendly against Anderlecht, and I will see you next time.